So we have a beautiful wood Hazeltine radio on the bench. You see the pointer is off inside the dial, so the chassis must have been pulled in the past. Here's the back of the radio. Everything looks original. I did notice that the power cord has been spliced, but you can see it's not safe to operate, so I'm going to have to get inside, hook up a different power cord, we'll give it an inspection and see if it powers. Alright, I've pulled the chassis. Everything looks to be complete. All the tubes are installed. Dial cord is broken, so I'll have to take care of that later. Let's look underside. Here's the bottom side of the radio. You can see she's all original. It's got all those waxy drippers, and of course the main filter cap, which is more than likely bad. Let's go ahead and bring it up on a variac and see if there's any hint of life. Alright, I brought the radio up on an isolated variac. See what we get. Well, there's the hum of the filter cap. Here's the station. Distorted, of course, because the high voltage is not clean. So I'm going to kill it. We'll change out that filter cap and retest. So before I carve it out, there is the main filter cap, 1240 microfarad at 150 volts. I'm going to go ahead and cut these leads, sub in some caps, and see if that helps. So I subbed in some caps. They're just kind of hanging in the breeze. Don't want to attempt this at home. Just powered up the radio. Don't have any hum now. Oh. It's working, but the cap is a little bit intermittent.
Easy. That is not an easy play. You're charging that baseball to your right, coming in, you decide to backhand that ball. You could get around it, you decide to backhand that ball.
So that's a good start.
And then throwing it on the run.
Obviously the rest of the caps will have to be replaced, but first I'm going to get that filter cap in. She's looking good. Well, there's the new filter caps secured on a terminal board. Now I'm going to go up and take a look at that dial cord and see what's required. Well, here's the dial cord. The string is still there. So it appears as though it simply went over the pulley, a couple turns around the shaft, came back up and around, and went in that hole. Inside, there is a spring, but you can't get to it. So I'm wondering if somebody installed this pulley backwards. It would make sense that the set screw would be behind. You'd have access to the spring so you could put on the dial cord. I'm going to remove this, take a look. So this is how I believe the pulley should have been installed, so you have access to the cord and the spring. This plate will still go on the way it did before. The dimensions of that center shaft has not changed. So the pointer should be able to reinstall, but we'll find out. Here's the plan. Come out of the pulley, one turn around the shaft, back up and over, in, tie this guy in place. Should be fine. Okay, we're restrung. Seem to have proper operation out of the pointer now. Full sweep. Let's go ahead and retest it. There it is.
Wow! A bomb attempt by Sonoa.
So the tuning cap is doing its thing.
And the target doubled off Victor Mason Jr.
I don't know why Mason still...
Alright, lots more to do, but she's coming along. So word of caution, when you replace these capacitors, be aware that the terminals and the phenolic of these old tube bases will be brittle, and they can easily be damaged. So yes, sometimes you can unsolder and pull the leads and put the caps in the way they are, but usually you want to clip them, use little J-hooks, and put your new cap in place to make sure that you don't hurt the radio in the process. So we're going to start by changing out this little electrolytic, and then I'll work my way through the rest of the radio. So the recapping is complete. These are my main power supply filter caps, and then we had the assorted coupling and bypass caps, all 400 volt type. Now it's time to put it on a variac and see if she plays.
There are a ton of beautiful, beautiful automobiles here.
Here it is playing.
At the show this year. It's going on today. Wrapping up things around 5 o'clock, but it will be going on again tomorrow from 9 until 6. Tons of stuff going on along with the car show. You got the arts and crafts show, the vintage auto parts.
It's working great. Next step, got to clean that chassis, check the tubes, and I'm going to install a binding post on the rear for the antenna hookup. I'll show you that.
At the 45th Annual Street Rod Nationals North, I'm Jeff Cassidy for Cool FM.
So normally, these radios had a wire hanging out of the back of them. You just route that for your reception, but this one's obviously worn and it's cut. So what I like to do is remove the grommet, install one of these banana posts. So this allows you to either plug in an antenna, or you can spin this and put a wire through it and hook up whatever length you wish. It makes for a really nice upgrade to the radio. So the radio is working pretty well. Have the new antenna jack installed. Next, I'm going to give her a clean up and check those tubes. Alright, I had to break out the Hickok 800A to be able to test these tubes. I have a 6A7 installed right now. Over 1,000 is good, and we are over 1,000. So I'm going to go through the rest of the tubes, but the Hickok should save the day. Alright, in case you've never seen one of these tube checkers, this is a number 76 tube. You look on the chart. If you see here, you see 6.3 volt filament, and that's there. And then your switches in this case would be JR 3204. So JR 3204. Okay? Then they have what they call bias in English, and bias in this case should be around 30. In English should be, according to this, 63. And then you hit P4 to test the tube. Anything over, in this case 1450, is good. So far all the tubes in this radio are testing fine. Well, it's looking really good for this radio. My last step is to replace this old line cord, and we're going to install a fuse because this thing didn't come with one.
On the way, the Speakers Wheel, and right here, the Supremes back in my arms again on Cool FM.
Of course, I can't allow that to play because I'll get popped for copyright. Here is the pile of parts that have been removed. The radio is playing at full line voltage, fuse protected. Time to put it back in the cabinet. Alright, one thing I need to point out. The line cord I put on is a 2 conductor. On these hot chassis radios, you don't want to put a grounded cord on. If you take a look at the power switch, you see the voltage coming in? Look at what it switches to. Chassis. So guess what would happen if you put a grounded cord on this radio?
It is coming down out there.
Right.
Be careful on the roads.
I've had this radio playing now
Headlights. Here's John Lennon.
for 2 or 3 days, giving her a good burn in. It's really working well. Looks beautiful. Chassis installed. You can see the rear connector for the antenna. She's ready to go home.